Tonight, we continue connecting communities with their local and state leaders. We had an opportunity to speak with Dr. Randall Williams, the director of the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. We asked him when it might be possible to return to normal in Missouri. Well, he says that'll depend on when we reach herd immunity, which he's hopeful will be this July. But he says there are other factors that will be taken into account.
It'll be clinical judgment. There won't be one metric. We'll look at the overall health. I practiced for 30 years, and after surgery, people always want to know when they could go home. And I would say, well, we're going to look at a lot of things. Do you have a fever? Are you eating? Can you walk? Are things, can you ambulate? And so we'll kind of do the similar thing. We'll look at all of our different variables and make decisions on those. We also ask local communities that have put into place maybe ordinances or policies to talk with their local providers as we get into June and see what makes sense to relax on those.
Now, some of that reopening is taking into consideration the UK variant of the coronavirus. Now, Dr. Williams says Dr. Anthony Fauci explained that they believe the variant accounts for 30% of all the active coronavirus cases in the U.S. Dr. Williams says he agrees and believes that's the case here in Missouri, that about 30% of the active cases in the state are the variant, which he does have concerns about.
We think that it is more infectious, it causes more sickness, it's probably more deadly. So at this moment in time, even with the warm weather and the Purple Martins are coming back and the Cardinals and the Royals are getting ready to play, it's more important than ever to social distance and wear a mask if you can't social distance, and wash your hands. And if you have to congregate, try to be congregating outside as opposed to inside.
And over the past year, the amount of things that have been learned about the coronavirus has increased exponentially. And experts continue to learn more about the virus. And that also means that there's time to look back at what we've learned and how we could have acted differently when the pandemic began. Now, Dr. Williams says there are things that he and other health officials know about the virus now that they wish they would have known back in February of last year.
Europe and the United States have had higher death rates. And that's just something that I don't think we all saw back in February. We kind of perceived it more like the flu. So it's not that I would have changed anything necessarily, but that's clearly one thing that I and about everybody else I know didn't realize would be a characteristic of this particular novel emerging virus.